welcome to our program Messiah. My name is Letty Levy, and today we have Scott Silverman. I got your name right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
From Second Chance. He's been previously with us, but today we kind of would like to bring you an update of what is happening. And this is a very crucial time about what is happening in California. As we know, the governor just gave the state of the state, and we are facing a crisis with the prison.
We are.
So I feel, Scott, you are the man for the job, and that it will be very wise if the governor, as well as the legislators, will have the opportunity to view this program and also see what you have available to offer. So can you briefly tell us a little bit about Second Chance and how can, if the governor will invest in a program such as yours, the difference that will make?
Well, I think, first of all, it's good to see you again, and thanks for having me back. Now that you've got the reputation of being the prison show, I hope that wasn't my fault.
No, it's okay. I like it.
We have this crisis. We have the overcrowding crisis. And it's interesting, when we say we have this crisis, it's not just the governor's crisis. It's not just the taxpayers' crisis. When you talk to the individuals, the inmates, if you will, the prisoners, they have a crisis. They have a safety issue. The correctional officers have an issue. They have a safety issue with all this overcrowding. You know, and the scare they had just recently at one of the facilities, I think it was San Quentin, they had a tuberculosis breakout.
Yes.
It's a problem because, you know, healthcare is getting changed around now because of the receiver, but at the end of the day, we all have a problem with this because the overcrowding is increasing. The individuals who are leaving the facilities, if you will, are coming right back again within, 18 months. 70% are recidivating, coming right back in. The prison population is growing. Our sentencing laws, if you will, are putting people back inside for longer terms. So if you take a look at the landscape of what's going on with our incarceration system and our judicial system, it's a mess. It's a mess. And the governor's answer is, let's build more prisons. And I said, you know what? All right, let's just say you're right for 1 second, Governor Schwartz. Let's say you're right. Build 5, 6, 7 more prisons, and we add another 15, 20,000 beds. Well, by the year 2012, 2015, if you will, the volume of arrestees that are going inside, the length of stays, the continued problem, chronic recidivism, those prisons will already be overcrowded before they get built.
That's right.
Let's say we have to build new prisons. My attitude is, while we're building new prisons, let's do something else. Let's create some programs. You know, the state of California has SB, the Senate Bill 618. There's an opportunity. We're working closely on a local level here with our district attorney, Bonnie Dumanis, with the Prison Reentry Roundtable to find proactive ways to use tools, if you will, on the inside prior to release to get people ready so when they hit the ground running, if you will, they have tools to be successful on the outside.
Absolutely. And as you know, your program has been proven to be effective for the last few years.
You know, and let's talk about that for a second, because when they say that, or when you say that, it sounds great. And when I talk to people and talk about the success of our program, it sounds great. But Cal State San Marcos did a 3-year study. We didn't do it internally. We had an independent body that was actually funded by the California Endowment to study our program for 3 solid years, 36 months. So now we have this evidence-based outcome that shows the things that we're doing in Second Chance really work with our prison reentry program. Not only do they give people opportunities to get jobs, they keep them out.
Exactly. And see, that's precisely what we're trying to do. Another big issue is how many inmates right now that were originally sentenced to 7 to life, 15 to life, now they're in their late 50s. They have done over 20 to 30 years incarcerated. Those people, rather than keep them incarcerated and costing the state and all of us taxpayers millions of dollars because now they're sick, most of them. Some of them have lost families. I think this crowd could really benefit from what you are doing. Some of these men and women have been incarcerated for so long, they don't even know how to smile.
I know.
And I know that you have a program, a Smile 101 or Shake Hands 101.
Handshake 101, right. We teach people how to smile and look people in the eye. And you're right, there are a lot of people that are sitting in our institutions right now with the right kind of assessment tools, especially if they haven't been or never were arrested as violent offenders. They should be given a second chance, if you will, given a shot to get out. Because first of all, that's going to decrease the overcrowding.
Yes.
Second of all, it's going to give an individual maybe some quality of life while they're still on the planet, if you will. It frees up the beds, And realistically, if they can come back in and get into the workforce, and the seniors, I call them the Gray Panthers, they're going back to work. Employers are looking for folks, so maybe they'll have opportunity to get access to health care, maybe get some family reunification, maybe they have grandkids out there and bring the quality of life back, and maybe when they get off parole, they'll be able to vote again, and maybe they'll put Governor Schwarzenegger back in. Maybe they'll get some of his constituents back in. Maybe they'll be part of the future, or their children will be. Something we didn't really have a chance to talk about last time is when a parent gets arrested, something happens to that child.
Yes.
None of it good. And there are studies that show that within 24 hours of a father, if you will, or a mother being arrested and going away for long periods of time, there's a negative impact on that child. And in many cases, their behavior shifts very quickly.
Yes.
They start doing poorly in school, and they become, if you will, from a shine the light on perspective, the criminal of the future.
Yes.
All the indicators of failure are laid on them immediately, and the big mentoring programs that are starting to evolve now, they'll never get created fast enough. So we really need to do something, and we have to do it quickly. And you think about quickly, the governor has till the end of June. The state of California has said, that the federal courts have said, if you don't do it by the end of June, they're going to bring a receiver in to run the prisons. Yes,
but just like we were talking earlier before we were on the air, if 20 years of building prisons hasn't changed anything, I mean, how much stupider can you get? To learn after 20 years that we have built the prisons and
we have a
hasn't
great
changed
saying
anything.
in classroom, if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. So if the same mindset is going to use the same techniques to build new prisons without new tools, if you will, or mechanisms for helping people transition out, then it's not going to work. You're absolutely right. You and I will be sitting here, 20 years from now, we'll both be turning 40, and we'll be talking about how we have 350,000 people in prison now. The recidivism rate is now 85%, not 70. It's gone up and increased.
Absolutely.
Crime is up in every major metropolitan area throughout the state of California. California, by the way, is not the only state that has the issues.
Oh,
but
no.
when you look across the country, you look at states like Arizona and Nevada, and Kansas and Oklahoma, and even Chicago, Illinois, they're working programs right now. They want to do something. They don't want to see people continue to leave the jail or prison and go back.
Well, I have always said, and I'm not ashamed to say this, but really prison is a big business.
Too big a business.
But see, the problem with that is only certain amount of people are reaping the benefits of that finances.
Right.
Everybody else is being robbed. Why? Because thanks to the expenses, the money that we're investing as taxpayers into the prison system just to support the union, because to me that's where it's at, the police officers are underpaid. The fire department they need, they are hurting. Education is hurting. All these other, not to mention the elderly, and I mean, we can go on and on and on.
And everything you just said is completely true. And then you listen to the state of address that the governor just gave us, and he's wanting another $14 billion to build more prisons. What message does that send to the rest of the state? What's that send to all of the healthcare providers, the teachers, the educators, law enforcement, individuals who are working for the fire department? What message does that send to the rest of the state? So here you've got, like you said, 2 or 3% of the employees of the state making all this dough, putting all this money away in their pension plan. You know what? They have a hard job. Let them earn the benefits. But you know what? Let's look at the system itself. Because I'm not blaming the workers. The union was set up to do its job. What I blame is the way the government takes this position that we have got to find a way to lock them up and throw away the key.
Absolutely.
I have a family member who says to me, well, they really wouldn't be ex-offenders if they never got out, right? Well, I said, yeah, that is true, but guess what? They're getting out, they're recriminating, and it's interesting, our crime statistics right now in San Diego in our community, the soft crimes, I call them, are going down, but violence is going up.
Yes.
And that violent offender is the one that's going to go away and spend a long time in jail, and with medicine the way it is, they're going to live longer, and they're going to have just more disintegrated families. We're going to have more kids not being raised by 2 parents, but only 1, and we're going to have a kid who sees their parent going away for a long time.